I am Dr. Amarjit Kaur. I am Professor of Accounting and Dean at Faculty of Commerce and Management at Gurugram University, Gurugram. I am very happy to be present here to talk on a very important topic, accounting for bills of exchange. In this topic, we are going to talk what is bill of exchange, how is it issued, what is the formality, how does it work, what are the possible scenarios when somebody has bills of exchange received, and then lastly we will discuss accounting, the journal entry parts of bill of exchange. So these would be the 4-5 agenda points for the next few minutes. I am going to discuss this topic in two parts. In part 1, I shall be targeting on the books of the person who receives the bill, and the second part I shall be targeting to discuss that how do we record the bills of exchange in the books of drawer, the person who writes the bill. So this topic will be covered in two parts so that you could comprehend very well. So please be with me for the next few minutes. As the name suggests, bills of exchange. So you may know this, many of you may know this, that what is bill of exchange, and many of you may not know this. Bill of exchange is an instrument which is negotiable, which can be negotiated in the open market, right? So as this is a negotiable instrument, this comes under Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. So this is an instrument which is given in writing by somebody promising unconditionally that I owe you this much and I will pay you this money on a particular date, on a stipulated date, right? So basically somebody is writing on a piece of paper which is called bill. Bill is an instrument. So technically it is a financial instrument, right? Where if I owe somebody, so I am writing and I am accepting that I owe you this much and I will pay you this money with interest or without interest, whatever the condition I feel like, on a particular date. So date is mentioned on the bill. So this is how, this is what the bill of exchange is. Now coming to how many people are involved in a bill of exchange when it is written or accepted. So primarily there are three parties. There could be one or two more people or parties, but primarily there are three people or three entities which are involved. Number one, drawer. The drawer, as the name suggests, is the person or the company which draws the bill, which writes the bill. So who would write? The company which actually has to receive money, or the person who has to receive money from somebody, he will be writing, right? So generally people conceive it this way, that the bill will be written by the person who has to pay. Please correct your notion in case you also perceive it this way, that bill is not written by the person who has to pay. Rather, it is written by a person who has to receive the money. So we call the person drawer, means he writes and sends it to the person who has to pay. So the person who receives it and accepts it is the person known as drawee, right? So drawee is the person who accepts the bill. So which means if let's say X is the person who has to receive 10,000 from Y. So in this case, who would be drawer? You got it right. Mr. X would be drawer. He would be writing and he will be sending the bill to the person named Y in this example, and Y will accept, will sign it, and the moment the bill is being signed by the person who signs it, he becomes drawee, and this bill becomes bill receivable for drawer and bills payable for drawee. I hope you could get the idea from this small example. Now the third person or the third party which is important here is payee. Now if the bill is retained by the drawer till end and he has not endorsed it, he has not got it discounted, so the payment would be made by the drawee. So the drawee and the payee would be the same person. But in case the bill is got discounted by a bank or some agency, then the payee could be bank at the first hand. Of course, the final payment would be by the payee only. Alright, so payee and drawee could be same entity in few examples, in few situations, but they could be different entities depending on the situation, which we will discuss in few minutes. So I hope you are clear by up to this point that a bill is a negotiable instrument and there are primarily three parties named drawer, drawee and the payee are involved in this whole process. So as I earlier said, how does this bill how does this work, or how a bill is issued? So a bill is issued by, as I said, a drawer would write. So he is a person who draws the bill, then he will send it to the drawee or the payer basically for the acceptance. Once accepted, the bill becomes bills receivable for drawer and bills payable for drawee, who is going to pay it later, right? Who's basically payer. Okay, so this is how it works. Now coming to few important points regarding bill. So the first point regarding bill is this, that a drawer can treat the bill in three different ways. He has three options basically. What are those three options? The first option to me, for example, we took an example of X and Y. So X receives the bill after signed by Y. So X was drawer. So now what are the options with X here? So he can retain the bill till the maturity date. Let's say the Y accepted the term and condition written by X, that 10,000 is payable and it will be paid in 40 days. So the date would be mentioned. There is 3 days grace period, with interest or without interest, whatever. So that amount is decided in advance, that X amount will be paid. Let's say 10,000 with interest of some percentage, or with interest of 100 rupees. So 10,100 will be paid on particular date, let's say 5th of February, right? So this drawer has the option to retain it till the maturity date, that is 5th of February, and get it paid, or it may not be paid. That is the second option. So he has the option to retain it till the maturity date. The second option he has, that I was somebody who received the bill. So I am X, let's say. So I need money before my maturity date. My maturity date in this example we took is 5th of February. But I need money on very urgent basis on 15th of January. So what is the option I have? So I can go to a bank or any financing agency and can get it discounted. So the second way a drawer can deal or treat the bill is that he or she can get it discounted from the bank before the maturity date, right? So this will depend upon either I need money, or I just don't trust, or I just don't want to wait and I want money, I want to improve my liquidity and I will get it discounted. Certainly bank will charge you for discounting the bill. So you will not get the 100% of the maturity value of the bill from the bank. There are many minimal charges which are made by the banker. This is a very regular practice. Almost every bank will discount the bill, and generally people go to the banker where they have their current account, where they have their business account with, right? So this was the second possibility for a drawer. Now the third option a drawer has is that he can go and pay his dues. So, and by endorsing the bill. What is that? So I was X, right? Who has given me the bill? Y. Y has signed accepted. Let's say X owes some money to Z. So X, Y, Z. I am taking the third person now into picture. So X was the person who owns the bill, but X also has to pay somebody. His name is Z. So Z. So he has to pay some money. So his option is either he pay by cash if he has no money but he need to pay, he can endorse the bill he received from Y, right? So in this case X will endorse mean will rewrite. So now the X will accept that I pay you. To whom he is writing? He is writing to Z that I accept that I owe you this much money, Mr. Z, and I will pay you, through this bill which is due on this particular date, right? So this is known as endorsement of bill of exchange. Because if you remember, initially I mentioned clearly that bill of exchange is a negotiable instrument. It means it can be openly sold and purchased in an open market. It can be discounted because it is a negotiable instrument. Any rupee in your pocket, basically 100 rupee note or 500 rupee note in your pocket is also a negotiable instrument. You can go to a market and negotiate the price of any product in exchange of that note, right? So it is a promissory note basically. A note is a promissory note, any currency note by the government of that particular country which has issued that note. So and this bills of exchange is a negotiable instrument, can be negotiated in open market. So these were three important points with, how a drawer can deal or treat with, this bill. Now coming to the second thing, what will happen? So I am a drawer, I have a bill, so I exercise either of the three options. I kept it at maturity, I got it discounted, or I got it endorsed. Whichever option I exercise, irrespective, there are two possibilities on the date of maturity of the bill. What are those two possibilities? Either the bill is honored by the drawee, person who wrote the bill, or this is dishonored. So if it is honored, the whosoever has the bill, either the drawer or the endorsee to whom it has been endorsed, whosoever owns it, he or she will get paid by the drawee, the original drawee, here the Y. So if X was holding, the Y will pay X. If Z was holding, that is endorsee, person to whom we have endorsed, he would be getting this payment. So this is, the bill is honored. But there's a possibility bill is not honored, which means the bill is not being paid on the maturity date. That also happen very frequently. In this corona time, in the last few days, there was dishonorment of many instruments. Whichever were written in the past, they were due, but people do not have money to pay, right? So those bills were dishonored. So that is also a possibility. So this is the second important point regarding bills, and these two things, honor or dishonor, can happen to any of the three situations which we discussed. Either the bill is presented for payment at maturity, bill is been held by somebody whom it has been endorsed and he presents this, or bill has been held by the bank and bank present it for payment, right? So these were the important points regarding bill of exchange. Now we shall be proceeding further and will discuss about the accounting treatment in the books of drawer. So I shall be discussing the transactions, how to record them so I will take few examples, and one by one for all the possible scenarios I am going to discuss how to record journal entries in the books of drawer, the person who receives the bill. Okay, so let's go further now. Let's have a look at this slide. So this is the journal of the person who has the bill in his hand, means the drawer, the person who owns the money or who owns the bill. So the first thing is when the bill is issued by the drawer and accepted by the drawee, so it becomes bills of exchange. And when the bill is received after being signed by the drawee, the entry would be bills receivable account debit to drawee's account. So drawee's account would be credited. So who is the drawee? Is the person who owes you, who is our creditor in our books. So in the books of X, for example, the drawee would be Y. Y would be the person who is creditor to X, right? So we are writing these books for X. Okay, in part 2 we will discuss how to write the books of Y as well. Okay, so in the narration we will write being bill was drawn and accepted. Okay, so this would be the first entry when the bill is issued. Now moving forward, let's say we discuss 3 scenarios that bill is just been retained until maturity. So if the bill is retained until maturity, there is no need for any entry. So there would be no entry till the bill is honored or dishonored. It has just been retained. For retaining, I need not to. I received it and I already recorded in my books at the time of receiving in the previous transaction, right? So if bill is retained, as we discussed the 3 scenarios, I need not to make any entry in my books of account and it will just be no entry. Okay. Now the third situation is that I retained it and I presented it, on the at the time of maturity, and I get paid. So we will call it as A, situation A. So what is the main situation? The main situation or scenario is that the drawer here has held the bill till maturity and presented. So once it has been honored, so that is the first scenario. So at the present, when I am presenting, there are 2 scenarios. One, the bill is honored. Second is the bill is dishonored. Okay. So the bill is honored. What will happen? I will receive money. Obviously, I will receive in cash or my bank account will be credited. Right? Either of the 2 things would be there. In both the situation, my current assets are going up. My bank balance or my cash balance is going up. So I would be debiting my cash or bank account in my books, and I shall be crediting bill receivable, because my bill receivable will go reduced now. It will be nil, because earlier when we received it, we debited it. Now we will credit it and we will debit cash or bank. In narration, we will write bill retained till maturity and payment received. So this is in the books of drawer. So he has presented and he gets paid. Okay, or she gets paid. So this was the first scenario when the bill is honored. Now coming to the second scenario, when the bill is dishonored. So when bill is dishonored, so the drawer is not going to get any money. So what will be the entry? So drawee's account would be debited. Who is drawee? I hope you remember the example of Y. So basically, if it is the name of the person is Y, we will write Y's account debit, because this bill goes back to him. So we did not receive the money. So we will again, so when we received from him, he was credited. So we will debit the person, and debit means he becomes a debtor for me. So Y becomes, again he becomes a debtor for me in my books, in the books of X. Me means here X, right? So drawee's account is debited and bill's receivable account is credited, because there is no bill, so bill has been dishonored. So earlier when we received it, we debited it, and now when we are returning the bill, basically this is dishonored, so we will be crediting this bill. Okay. In narrations, we will write being bill retained till maturity and is dishonored. So this is the second scenario of dishonoring, when under the first main scenario, when we have kept the bill till maturity but the bill is dishonored. Moving forward, the next possible possibility is this: the bill is discounted with the bank. So if we have got our bill discounted, what will happen? Just think about it. Certainly we will receive money, right? So my bank account would be up, my bank balance would be up. So whatever the actual amount I receive, I will debit my bank account in my books by that amount. Mind you, bank will be crediting your account, but in your book, in your bank column of cash book, you will be debiting the amount, right? So we are writing the books of Mr. X, here the drawer. Okay, so bank account would be debited. Then, as I discussed earlier initially, that when we go for discounting option, we have to pay certain commission to bank. So that particular commission is basically an expenditure for me as a business. So I will write discount account debit for the amount of discount I pay to bank. So if the bill was for 10,000 and I am paying 100 rupees, right? So my bank account would be debited here 9,900 and my discount account would be debited for 100. Okay, and what shall we be crediting here? We shall be crediting bills receivable account. So my complete entry would be bank account debit for the actual amount received, discount account debit for the amount I pay as discount, and I would be crediting the bills receivable account because I get paid from the bank after getting a discount. So you will be writing in the narration being the bill got discounted from bank. So this was the third main scenario when we get the bill discounted. Okay. So now coming to the two possibilities. So when the bank has held that bill and it is been honored, so bank will get paid by the drawee. So in our books, in the books of drawer, there is no need for any entry, right? So there is no entry here being the bill honored by the drawee, because bank will receive the money and the bank will record in their books as cash up, right? So in my books, in the books of drawers, I am not going to record anything for bank being paid by the drawee. But what if on the date of maturity the bank doesn't get money? The drawee is going to be coming back in the picture. In your books, drawee is going to be debited because he then again becomes debtor. It's like dishonoring. So either you are holding or bank was holding. Whosoever was holding actually is going to affect your books by increasing debtors if the bill is not being paid, if the bill is not being honored. Under both the condition, either you were holding and bill is dishonored, or bank was holding and the bill is dishonored, we are going to debit drawee. So in the previous transaction we did the drawee debit. In this transaction, when the bill is being kept by or held by the bank and is dishonored, we shall be debiting drawee's account. Okay. What should be credited? Of course, the bank account. What does it mean? If you are crediting bank, means you are paying to the bank. You got the money from bank after discount, but finally you will have to pay to the bank. Bank is not going to bear the loss, though there are certain exceptional cases when the bills are endorsed to certain non-banking financial companies or even few banks, where we discount the bill without any possibility that you would be bearing the loss if the bill is not. But I am not going to discuss that. That would be confusing here. So that is a different situation, and we call it as a different technical term we use for that. So I shall not be discussing that. But in a normal condition, when a bill is not being paid by the drawee to the bank because bank was holding here, the entry in the books of drawer, please remember we are writing the books of drawers here. That's what I am discussing. So we would be debiting drawee, right? So it means Y again becomes the creditor here in my book, the debtor here, because the person has to pay you, and the bank account would be credited. So you would be paying to the bank. So the narration would be being the bill dishonored by the bank which was discounted, or you may write discounted bill dishonored. Okay. So coming to the next possibility, what would be the journal entry for bill of exchange when the bill is endorsed? So as I discussed a few seconds before, that a situation when you have to pay as a drawer, you have to pay to somebody and you issued that bill to further to someone, so that situation is known as endorsement, right? So if you are endorsing the bill, you shall be writing in your books of account that by debiting the creditor or the endorsee, Endorsee is the person who is receiving. So you are accepting. In our example, X was the drawer who receives the bill, and he further writes it to Z, the Z, right? So the person Z would be debited here because he is receiving the bill. So we will write the creditor's name to whom you were supposed to pay. So or to whom you have endorsed now. So Z would be debited. The bill of exchange account will be credited because we are giving that bill. So that bill is no more our asset. The bill becomes my liability now because I am further endorsing it. Okay. So the complete entry would be creditors or endorsees account debit. The name remains same, right? And to bills receivable account. In the narration we will write being bill endorsed in favor of creditor. So this would be the complete entry, the fourth situation. Now in this situation again there are two possibilities, that bill is honored or bill is dishonored. If the bill is honored, that there will be no entry in your books, right? Because the endorsee will get the money, okay? But if the bill is dishonored, then in your books we are going to record, and the recording would be that you will again create drawee's account as debit, because drawee's account will be again created. Earlier we removed the drawee's account. Now we will create the drawee's account by debiting it, so drawee become debtors again, and the endorsee to whom you are to pay, they again becomes your creditor, so you will credit the endorsee, right? So the complete entry would be drawee's account debit, and the creditors or endorsee's account would be credited to whom you earlier debited a few minutes ago, and the narration will say being bill endorsed dishonored. So this is the complete transaction or recording process in the books of drawer. So thank you very much. We shall be holding here and shall soon be discussing how to write the books of account of drawee in part 2. So please be with us in the next session as well. Thank you, friends.